Joe, Drew in this one, 10 assists, looked a little bit more involved in terms of kind of the facilitating, the ball handling. What about this matchup, or just sort of the game plan you guys had going into this one allowed for that?
It wasn't a matchup or a game plan thing. I think it's just him continuing to grow as a player and finding just ways to affect the game. He's much more decisive in early transition. He has his reads. He knows what he's looking for. They changed matchups a little bit, and he handled that with great grace. It was something that he had to get used to. So it's just him understanding what his reads are and where he can be super aggressive, and he's getting better and better at that. So he's a playmaker for us. We're a good team.
So you contest Royce there at the end. What led you to do that, and what did you kind of see there that made you do that?
I saw a guy going in to try to get a shot, and he hadn't made one, and I didn't want him to feel good about himself going to the bench. Gary asked me about that a month ago, and that's the bench rule. Guys don't shoot shots in front of our bench to go back to their bench to feel good about themselves. If I'm going to ask the guys to contest, the staff's got to do the same.
Joe, when it came to managing the lead and expanding the lead going into the second half, what drove that, and what were some of the dynamics that led to that?
So tonight was kind of similar to like last year, where we didn't do a great job controlling the shot margin, and so the game was relatively close because of their second chance opportunities. I thought we forced them into a lot of tough shots. I thought we did a better job. So they only had 6 offensive rebounds in the second half, and so when you take away some of their strengths, our individual defense and our ball pressure was much better in the second half, and our one-shot defense was better, which we were allowed to get out and transition and find those cross matches. And so that's the whole key to us, is really working to dominate the shot margin in different ways. It looks different every night. We weren't great at it, but we were great in the second half. And between that, our individual defense and our shot making.
And on Drew for a second, of the stars, is he the guy that has sacrificed the most offensively to make sure that everything works? How would you kind of
I know, listen, everybody has to sacrifice. So it's not about who. If we get into who sacrifices more than me, then that's playing a victim mentality, and it goes against what we're trying to build. So it's not about who's sacrificing more. At the end of the day, Drew's a huge part of our team because of his ability to adapt and adjust and find other ways to be effective, different than he has at other teams. And that's for everybody down the line, top to bottom. So we just got to keep that as the main focus. Everyone's got to do things that they like and things that they're necessarily not comfortable with, so to speak, to put the team first. And our team has done that throughout the entire year. The challenge is, can we continue to trust that?
Joe, Jason, and Jalen, in terms of reading the defense, the Suns brought guys far out of three-point line to guard Tatum, and then sometimes Brown, when he had a small defender on him. He's just been in attack mode lately. How's the progression you've seen from them, just being able to read not only defenses in general, but game to game, how different teams cover them?
No, they both have really taken pride in that, and have really worked to understand that. And so just their patience, the balance of knowing when to go early in the shot clock, the balance of wanting to get to their spacing, the understanding of matchup recognition, coverage recognition, all those things go into it. And their patience and their pace and their balance of, and I thought you saw tonight, both of them, they had a great balance of being aggressive and also baiting the double teams to get easier shots for other people, and it's a credit to them for their growth.
And then over the road trip especially, Luke was doing a great job in the pick and roll, sort of sealing bigs off while the guard had the defender on their back. We saw that a little from Tillman tonight too. How important is that for bigs, running that with the level of ball handling you guys have in your team?
Yeah, it just depends on the bigs' depth in pick and roll. You get that more when guys are a little bit further back, and that's just a read, and those guys have been working on it.
Joe, going back to your contest on Royce, do you know what your percentage is for the year, for field goal percentage?
I don't know, but I don't.
When you do stuff like that, what kind of feedback have you gotten from the team about how that reinforces to them?
I'm not sure that they even know. They might know now, but I'm not sure they've known up until that point. But I think it's important. I think it's a small detail of the game. It's a little gamesmanship, but you can't have guys going back to their bench feeling good about themselves.
Joe, 31 assists tonight. You guys have had 25 or more in 8 of your last 12. Was that an emphasis that you guys had coming out of the All-Star break, or is that just kind of coming naturally?
No. I think it's just us finding layers of the offense and the defense, right? So get out in early transition, but being able to get to different layers. You obviously got to make the shot in order to get the assist. So we'll see what our potential assist average was since that time. But I think it's just more about getting to the second and third layer of the defense, having the game slow down, manipulating the matchup, and taking the best shot possible.
Joe, it's probably going to go viral, the block, but you don't care, and it just seems like care what it looks like to anybody.
I mean, there's a dead ball. I did it last year. We've done it multiple times, so I don't care. At the end of the day, it's about the mindset and the approach that we bring, and it's within the rules of the game.
And kind of to Jared's question, like the players have to pick up on it. Like, regardless of how this looks, we're sticking to what we do.
What are they going to do?
I'm just saying, like that's got to be that reflects positive on you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, listen, like I said, it's about just setting a tone. It's that. And so one of the biggest pet peeves is just thinking that a guy's just going to get a free shot. It's just not the way it works. And if we're going to hold our team to the standard, to hold the staff to the same thing. So there's been times where we've missed it, and I've held the staff accountable to it. And you got to do the best job you can of not doing it.
Did you find them? What did you do?
I just a strong conversation about what the expectations are.
And with Jalen, he's not only scoring, he's reading passing like a DB.
He's playing so well.
Like
both ends of the floor.
Yeah, what is he doing to be able to kind of get those steals?
Just processing the game. I think he's really taken a point of emphasis to be a well-rounded player. I think everything with him starts with his defensive intensity, and I think guarding one of the other team's best players and getting off to a great start on defense is what kind of gets him going. And, I think that's big for our team. And he's doing a great job of the balance, right? Like, he could score on anybody, anytime, and he's taking the ones early in the shot clock when he feels like he had an advantage, and he's slowing down, reading the game when he doesn't. And it's been a huge just growth for him. And, it's a different layer for our team when he's aggressive, especially getting to the free throw line and creating opportunities for other people. So, he's playing really well-rounded basketball on both ends. It's fun to watch.
Feels like that play where Jalen missed the three, kind of hung around, got the steal and dunked on Grayson Allen. Feels like maybe in the past he's kind of let plays, misses, something like that kind of get to him, and he'd hang his head or he'd get a backdoor cut on him, and it seems like that's kind of all gone away, and he's hanging around. It's like, oh, I made a mistake, I'm going to make up for that mistake, and kind of stays present.
Yeah.
Where's that growth come from? What have you seen in that regard?
I think just not being defined by one particular thing. I think just moving on to the next play because you have an ability to make an impact on the game the next play. And that's something that he takes a lot of pride in. Like I said, I think his pride and attention to detail defensively is kind of what helps him offensively, I think. And he's taken full ownership of that. So when he wants, because he wants to affect the game on both ends, he has a quick ability to just get to the next play because he knows he can have an impact in a way. And he's finding ways to get easy baskets. Like, that's a way to get an easy basket. And so he's finding different ways to score, not just like having a play called for him. And he's taking like pride in that as well,
heading into the playoffs in 1 month?
Just continuing to have the same approach, the same mindset. To me, the way we play, as long as we keep an open mind, we have a trust for each other, understanding winning is the most important thing, but also finding ways to get better. Like, we got to watch this first half, and we got to watch the end of the game when they went to a small lineup, and we weren't able to create the advantages as easier when they played smaller and switched. And we got to watch that stuff, and we have to get better at it. So it's just not getting caught up in the result, having an understanding that every game presents a learning opportunity for us to find 10 possessions that we have to get better at, and we just got to keep that going.
Did you see that surface tonight in some small ways that's encouraging, aside from, a big win in the end, the result?
What do you mean? What part?
Just, the mindset, right? Like, that drove the result, the big win, but those things that you're looking for to stay sharp in the future, did they show up tonight?
Look at it, we didn't show film at halftime. It was just a very simple conversation of, like, we're up 5 and we're shooting 50% from 3, so we're at a very critical point of the game to where if we decide to rely on just that and we don't get the shot margin back in some capacity, then we're not going to win. And if we hold them to more one-shot possessions and we get out and score and we can control that better in the second half, then we have a chance. And so just their ability to understand that, and I thought the guys did a great job. We went to some different adjustments to start the second half, and they executed really well. Al took great ownership of the communication, and they were able to get that. So to play kind of two different ways between the first half and the second half is kind of that mindset that you're talking about.